This is a trigonometry problem. Let me show you how to go about it. Here's the problem. We have the sine of arc cos x. So this is like the cos inverse of x. Now this is different from the inverse of cosine. They are two different things. So let's take note of that. Now, how do we go about this? Whenever you are given any trigonometry expressions like this, whether the inverse is the one outside or the inverse is the one inside, all you have to do all the time is that target the one that has the inverse. So you can use any letter to represent that one that has the inverse. So you can write something like this: let u equals the arc cos x. Now, so when you do that, the next thing you do is that you take the cosine of both sides. So that is cosine of u equals cosine of arc cos x. The reason why I took the cosine of both sides is because cosine can easily get rid of the arc cos here. So this will still remain cosine u equals cosine of arc cos x. That will just be x. So when you find the cosine of arc cos of any number, any angle, is going to be that angle itself. So this is going to be equal to x. So this is x. X equals cos u. Now, don't forget where we started from. We said let u equals cos inverse of x. The implication of that is that sine of cos inverse of x would be equal to sine u. So now we want to get an expression for sine u with respect to this. From trigonometry identity, we know that if we have this sine squared, if we have sine squared u plus cos squared u, this would be equal to 1. Now, so from this stage now, we can now solve for sine of u because we know cos u already in terms of x. So we can now say that sine squared u plus, now what is cos u? Cos u equals x. So this is going to be x squared, which is going to be equal to 1. So what does this imply? This implies that sine squared of u is going to be 1 minus x squared. And you take the square root of both sides here. You take the square root of both sides. What does that imply? It implies that sine u equals square root of 1 minus x squared. So with that, now we have been able to get an expression for sine of arc cos x, because that's the same thing. So sine of arc cos x is going to be the same thing as square root of 1 minus x squared. Now, so this is a very, very common question in trigonometry. And then if you want to approach even a more complex problem like this, it's just the same approach. Just try to let the inverse be equal to something, and from there you can maneuver your way around it. If you want me to solve more problems like this, and if you want to be the first person to see it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow. I'll see you in the next one.